letting me do some features good because child of mine, good child of mine. We may need a touch up. So thank you, YouTube. Thank you, child of mine. Oh, child of mine. Thank y'all. Forget to thumbs up the video when you get here. Subscribe to the channel. I'm actually just chilling, looking at this right here. The safari is right ahead. The zebras and the mountain lions and shit are just right, down there. Down there, that brush, right down there. Down there, you'll see the zebras, the mountain lions. Don't look at the cars. The cars aren't really there, you know what I'm saying? I'm out here in the wild. I'm out here on the safari. I'm out here on the safari, y'all. You know what I'm saying? We out here on the safari. We out here in the safari. We in the wild, basically, outside. We in the motherfucking safari. We in the Amazon. We in the mounds, honey. How y'all doing? What y'all up to? Grand Tuesday, Mars. Today is a Mars day. I feel like a Mars day is where I'm a lot more active on YouTube. I feel like I'm definitely more active on a Mars day. Talking to a client earlier who just so happened to be a Scorpio, and I was like, I used to have a best friend back in the day who's a Scorpio, and she is just the blueprint for all y'all Scorpios. I'm sorry. The best friend from back in the day, she's the blueprint for all y'all Scorpios. That's what it is. Because of her, I look at most Scorpios first as the extreme. I don't care how calm your demeanor may be perceived to be or how nice your demeanor perceived to be. I know what's going on with the Scorpios in the background, in the foreground, and on all sides of Scorpios. I really know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? They be trying to cover it up tough. But some of them really can't hide it. This lady today, she couldn't mask it. She fed the Scorpio really well. But then for some reason, as time went by, I almost forgot what planet ruled Scorpio. And it's Mars. And I was like, well, damn, no wonder that my BFF was like that. Oh my God. If I would have knew astrology and all that in elementary school and junior high school and high school, oh my goodness. I'm telling you, the wonderful and beautiful beings that are born in this technology world right now have definitely jumped and skipped lots of timelines. Even in your mom's wombs, you were able to jump and skip timelines because you have access to so much technology. But I said all of that because my friend's a Scorpio and ruling of the Mars, and today is a Mars day. Plus, I'm at a different type of Scorpio today. Yeah, they do have that somewhat of a snarkily, personality or whatever, but that's cool. They have a weird, snarkily personality that underneath is really like the Joker laughing, like really. The Joker is laughing underneath their skin. They got something going on. But anywho, y'all, I just came on here, pop on and said hello and happy Mars today, and sending all y'all just the pleasant weather and ingredients that's needed, okay, for the upliftment of the espiritual. And I send you all of the upliftment of your energy today. Send you all good and positive energy. Send you uplifting energy. Okay, let's transmute any so-called limes or lemons, all that old weird shit. Let's transmute it and know that you have the power right now, okay, to uplift yourself. Don't wait till some clock strikes for you to leave work, till the, you got to clock in or clock out or whatever, until you wake up the next day, and after you wash the dishes, you can just start feeling good now for yourself, for the presence of yourself as an individual in the space that you're taking up. Okay, give thanks to that, because you have a grand purpose. There's a reason for you to be here. So give thanks for yourself. Okay, give gratitude. All right, because those who are watching, observing in an environment, and more importantly the children, they will do the same thing too. They will give thanks and gratitude for their space that they get to take up. Okay, because they are unique, they are an individual, and they are here for a purpose. So give thanks and gratitude towards the stance in your purpose, okay, that we're all moving towards too, every moment. All right, gratitude. So thumbs up the video, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. I don't see nobody in the chat. Y'all will get there eventually. I actually keep forgetting, because I want to everybody probably their mama put stickers on her cup. I want to get all of the vegetable produce stickers and put them all over here and make some kind of design. And that's the first one. Produce stickers. I know, like, really. Says a lot. I'm drinking water, and I'm eating my produce, and I'm going to have a whole cup full of produce stickers. Yes, from the store or whatever. Yeah. But produce stickers, you know what I'm saying? And water. Play with me if you want to, because I'm just going to eat some celery on your ass. Try some fuck shit if you want. I'm gonna go make a green juice. Right. So let's get into a little bit of a topic point, right? Because I really haven't been on here and like really had any topics, I guess, for a little bit, unless I was doing like some tarot cards or some oracle cards or stuff like that. When I was coming on in the mornings and doing my walk, it was just random, and it was some areas that I wanted to talk about. But today I do have a little bit of topic, hence why I have a red pen, and it's Mars Day. Okay, Action Day, Warrior Day. And then plus I got this information a while back, but it keeps they keep saying fluctuating. All right, fluctuating for some reason, and we want it to be just focused. Okay, this topic should be focused and not fluctuated right now, because now that we are in awareness, there's no fluctuation. If you fluctuate, then the only person you're going to be beating up is yourself, right? Your own self. You're going to be your own judge, okay, on this point. So I have this thought on everyone and their mama, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube are talking about how to skip and jump timelines. And I do apologize, y'all. I know I had this live set for like an hour, and it's an hour early. But anyway, don't forget, when y'all come up in here, to thumbs up the video and subscribe to the channel. So one of the major topics I see a lot on these social media platforms is how to jump timelines. And I think most of them, all of them are true. There are so many ways to skip and jump timelines, right? What does that mean? Are we getting a time ship? Is it Twilight Zone, or we're going into some kind of portal? Basically, because you are the portal, right? So there's many ways to jump, skip timelines. So jump, skip timelines to reach a goal. Jump, skip timelines to reach a greater purpose. Jump, skip timelines to be more healthy, physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally healthy. You can jump and skip timelines in that area also. Okay, it's like getting in a portal. It's like getting in a time machine. There are so many ways to do that. But you must be focused. You must be in awareness. You must be disciplined. And these timeline jump skip codes, because without your focus and without your awareness, you're not going to be able to follow the track. You're going to be easily distracted, okay? Right. So for some reason, they're like music. You can jump timelines with music. I know that for sure because I can listen to just about anything and I can fit myself in that studio and I can really feel what the person was going through in that moment when they were putting their music together. But the main point here is focus and discipline. One thing that's stopping us from jumping timelines the most, no, one group, I have to say this, one group of people, and it's not their fault because they don't know. One huge group of people don't know what is really going on, why they are stuck in this position, in this timeline, okay? And it happens to be older people, elderly people, old people. You can't tell them shit. They've had their experiences. You can't tell them nothing. There's nothing new underneath the sun, right? Living, hi, hey, Mr. Aaron, or Aaron girl. Living in the past is one huge way to stop you from reaching and jumping timelines. Being in the past, reaching back from the past, getting back to the past and having it being a representation as the now is a huge defect, okay? A ginormous blockage from an individual and a collective to jump timelines. Living in the past is a ginormous default where a person cannot move, okay? Because what you're doing, you're using your magician, you're using your mind, you're using that portal, you're using the time machine, you're using the script that you are writing in your mind. You're bringing that foresight, which is now, you're bringing all of that to the now, the past. You're reaching back from the past using your magicianhood, using your portal, and using that all concurrently at the same moment and the now as if it's still going on right now, right? You cannot jump timelines from reaching from the past. We are in the now and things are occurring now through our mind as a portal, as a time machine. Is that how you spell economy? But right on. Appreciate you being here. Listen, so removing the past, okay, is going to help you jump timelines. Removing the past is going to help you jump timelines. Removing the past. Okay, well, what past experiences or what past instances, right? There's so many, right? Because if a person wants to reach their goals, okay, if they want to be a better individual, be a better person, just start with that, with the most simplest thing, being a better individual, being a better person. It begins now. It doesn't begin from the past. It starts right now. But what's going to happen is, by all those gates that are still open from the past, those portals, those things that you haven't stopped, it's going to come back to you in your mind and your portal if you left it open, okay? Minimum speak English. Well, that's cool. At least you spelled minimum properly. Most people can't do that. So we appreciate you. At least you got most of the words, which I know you're lying anyway. So, okay, jumping timelines, y'all. I'm telling you, you have to remove the past. So, like, one example, for instance, is, let's start with something basic. Let's say that you met a person for the very first time. You had a meetup. It didn't go all that great. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't horrible, but, you know, the thing was, like, I ain't about to meet this person again. There's no point. You know what I'm saying? Why do I want to meet this person again. That's the energy, right? You meet a person for the first time and it's like, yeah, no, it's not going to work out. Now, a simple person will be like, well, why? I wonder why when I met this person, it didn't go right. Did I say the wrong thing? Did we go on the wrong day? Was the weather right? What was something that happened that I could have done properly? Because I really want to have good connections, really want to have good relationship with everybody. Basically, you're trying to please everybody that you meet. Yet when you have this first instance, you're replaying the interaction as if you did something wrong. But basically, it was just not a good connection. Therefore, that stays in your aura as if you try to change yourself, right? So you're reaching back from the past, from that relationship, right? Whatever it is, some person you met from the first time, some stranger you bumped into, you know what I'm saying? You're feeling some certain kind of way when you go back and you're reflecting on it. Like, what could I have done wrong? It could have been like an interview, a job interview, or anything, a bus driver, something like that. You go back and it replays in your mind like, well, what could I have done? Was it the weather? Was it the bird outside? You know, did I not smile? You know, did I not frown? What should I have done? So basically, you're going back in some crazy ass past and trying to fix it in the now. When you do that, you have a solution right away. Oh, that wasn't a good encounter. Oh man, I wish that person the best. Always have something positive to go with that experience. I wish that person the best. Okay? We're not going to meet again, but I wish them the best. That's your solution. Not, oh, what could we have done better? Oh, should we have went on a different day? Okay? That is how you skip and you jump timelines, by living in the now and creating through the now, not creating in the past. You have a solution, okay, from those instances, from those meetups. Wish them best. Oh, I wish them best. All right, and in a genuine way, because we really want people to genuinely do well. Okay, we don't want to see people crash, right? We're all human beings, we're all collective, okay? That is the most big, so just bear with me one moment, okay? Because I'm just cooking very slowly. I want to start off with jumping timelines for something that's so very basic and something so very simple, right? In order to meet your goals, in order to be a better person, in order to build more self-development in the now, is having a solution, all right? If you're going to reach from the past, from those past relationships that didn't go well, have a solution right then and there. So in the near future, it won't come back and perpetuate you, try to beat you up, try to eat at your ego and try to chip away at you, trying to energetically influence you, okay? When you go off and meet somebody else, or when you go back outside and run into other people, right? You won't have that same energetic influence because you've closed the door. You had a solution with that experience, and the next group of people aren't going to be the same, okay? Because your brain, your cells aren't the same. They've changed. They're in the now. They're not in the back, in the past, because we are creating our environment with our mind with the portals, okay? The time machine. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, I wish you the best. Get a real man. A real man? What's a real man? What's a real man? What's a real man? No, I know what you mean, but I really want to know what's a real man. The lady earlier, my client, was saying that too, and I haven't heard this in a long time. She said something about having a real man in the household. I was like, damn, I haven't heard that in a while. Real man in the household. And I've taken a lot of humanities courses, let's say that, and let you bring that up in the humanities courses, they gonna pounce on your ass like, what you mean a man in the household? But I know what you mean, but it's a different time now. I'm telling y'all, it's a different time now. It's a different time now. Woo, child, they changing it. The society is changing right in front of our eyes. And I'm not the one to judge. I'm just the one observing, like, a real man in the house. Oh, really? Well, what does that mean for, gay and lesbian couples, or, what's a real man? Because I know several men who actually don't be working. They be at home taking care of the kids. You know what I'm saying? Is that a real man? He at home cooking and cleaning the wife is out. Or is that a real man? What's a real man? Where a real man at? We about to get back to topic, y'all. But what y'all saying? That's what's up. I can't read. That's too long. I don't know what you're talking about. You're going to have to use AI to shorten that paragraph, sir. And woke insanity. Use AI to shorten. I can't read that. Black fatigue. I don't even know what that means. Thank you. I've always had a big forehead. My brother used to call me five-head forehead. Beautiful. So remember the topic of removing the past, okay? By creating in the now. We use the most basic relationships, right? Because I'm telling you how and we meet people in our experiences, it will carry on based on your time machine. So that's why I was saying the best way to close the door in a relationship that didn't go well is to say out loud that I wish them the best and genuinely wish them the best. So you're closing that door, you're closing that time machine in the most positive way. Okay. And you're moving on. You're moving on. So in your next experiences, the next group of people that you meet, that portal, that time zone has already been closed. So you're going to have a different experience, right? And it's not going to be a negative one, or if it's so, you're going to have a solution. Okay. So jumping timelines from a relationship, that's the most simple, basic point of reference. Okay. Because our mind is a portal, it's a time machine, and how we are creating our experiences depends on how we talk to ourselves. Okay. And our frequency. Excuse me 1 second. I'll be over here snoring. And before I read that message, let me tell y'all what like a mid-level instance is where a person is living in the past. So here's a mid-level. We had a low-level relationships, right? Now here's a mid-level. Now mid-level can be scary for a lot of people, right? Jumping timelines, you have to be living in the now and not the past. So the second mid-level of being in the past is feelings of lost. As if you lost something, you have lost someone. Is an instance of living in the past, okay? And you cannot jump and skip and be in the now timeline in this frequency of feelings of lost. So let y'all think about what feelings of lost is before we talk a little bit more about that. Wonderful. Okay. All right. I guess I will take that as compliment. Thank you. Put a pin in what I was just about to say, but I come from a household where every other word was self-defeating. Curse words flying like daggers on a regular. Sit your motherfucking ass down and don't say shit. Like crazy behaviors. And language. I've learned a lot about language. He's talking about somebody getting called some niggas and something. Well, some kids, like some of my friends, thought that was their name, was nigga. But we ain't gonna go there. Hey, little nigga, get your ass over here, little nigga. What's your name? The teacher be like, what's your name, little nigga? That shit was funny. One more, okay? I want y'all to remember what feelings of loss is. What is a feeling of loss, okay? Because this is a mid-level way on how, but in a big way on how you cannot skip and jump timelines by reaching your goals or being in the self-development presence of yourself are feelings of lost. Okay, this is really big because I always think about this when someone is either getting sick and they're physically disabled, or when someone has lost, supposedly, a person, an individual. Okay, I'm not the one to tell people how to feel lost about a relative, their siblings, their best friend, but the one point of reference that my ancestors keep bringing up is that nobody is really lost, okay? But honestly, in this world, we are perpetuated by death as being the end, as being bad, so much that we're all afraid of it. We're all afraid to experience it, and we're all afraid to talk about death, although it's the inevitable. It's the inevitable, right? Laugh at it now. It is the inevitable. We're all walking across soil and concrete of those beings and spirits and rodents and all that that's been here for thousands and thousands of years. So we're all gonna, it's all been cycled. So feelings of loss, because I have lots of family members who passed, and younger cousins who've passed, and friends, kids who have passed away too. And I know this feeling, I don't know. And I don't I haven't experienced like losing a daughter or losing a son. I know that the loss is tremendous, but I'm not saying, but the ancestors are like, we are never truly losing these people. We have to get that. This is why spirituality is so true and in depth, because we are not truly losing these energetic influences of these people. When we carry on this interest that we have lost someone or something, we are not fully accepting where we are right now as an individual, right? Because you feel like there was something that you could have done better, something that could, something that you've done wrong, and inevitably there is nothing that's ever going to change how you feel, right? The ancestors are like, there is no loss here whatsoever. And because of that, physical body is no longer here. You can still have contact, as the blue jays and birds are all coming around here now. You can still have the same conversation and the contact with those that you feel like has transformed right now. There's no loss. There's no loss. In order for us to move on as individuals, okay, as group collectively, we need to be more familiar with transformation, right, out of this physical body into a more astral and spiritual sense. There is no lost. None. There is nothing lost. I really wish that I could say more to help more people in that way when they, help their children, their family transform, right? They say there's no greater loss than losing a kid, but there's no loss entirely. In this society, we are taught that it is a loss when we die, when we transition, and it's not. We can't jump timelines. We get stuck in timelines in this huge circular fashion, with the assumption and with the knowing and with the genetic frequency of thinking that we've lost something, when people naturally die every moment and a second of the day. There's no loss. That's all that they wanted to mention. I don't know, I keep hearing that we need to visit the cemetery more. We need to visit the cemetery more. We need to talk about our ancestors more. We need to have more, greater, better memories of our family and our ancestors. We should only just have great memories of that as well, of each other. So when you transform, people will have great memories of you also. Therefore, there's never no loss. The reason why we don't talk about our family members and shit like that is because they probably didn't do shit, or they were probably, sorry y'all, negative, bad people, right? Well, people need to do more good things, okay, so we can talk about you in a more uplifting way. But they're saying there's no loss, okay? Say if you have a feeling of a home, you lost a home, you lost a car, you lost basic shit. There is no loss ever here. It's only lost by you creating that time machine, by you creating that time zone of thinking and knowing and perpetuating that things are lost. And in all reality, there's nothing lost when your mind is the time machine, when your mind is the portal, y'all. Okay? I think that's probably the mid range is more difficult, right, than my final range, okay? Jumping and skipping timelines, okay? It's by removing the past, right? Yes, I think it's kind of more easier for some reason. Ooh, look at that Porsche. I don't know. I think guys, men have it. I'm not on gender size and bias. I'm just observing, but I think that men just probably have a lot more better with moving on by what you're talking about, like not caring what other people think or what they say. Because women is like the hair, the eyes, the lashes, the body type, how many bodies you have. There's a lot more definitions on how to move for women versus men. So definitely a product. And then you are so true and correct. It's so much easier said than done, because I be telling people all this and they just they be like, I'm talking about people in my family though, like actually friends and clients. They're like, yeah, but those who are close to you, you tell them that same thing, that you're a product of your own actions. They're like, yeah, over. Talk to me when you were a trillionaire, kind of a thing. Talk to me when you got that big ass house, right, and you moving me in. Okay, talk to me then. That's the attitude. Talk to me when you got your mansion, you can move all of us in, you paying all of our bills. Okay, then talk about your actions, having the ability to do all this. Talk to us then. It all reflects on back to what you can do for them financially. But yeah, you're in control of your own path. Anyway, thank you for that. Thank you for that. I'm gonna have to reflect on other things a little bit more, but you're so true for sure. But the experience of loss is huge. It's a big one, and not having the ability to jump and skip timelines. And jump skip timelines, when people think of goals, they always think of reaching something materialistic, but it also has to do with self-development and self-improvement, because how are you going to, age yourself in a more holistic fashion if you are living in the past? Oh, that was done for you in the past. Or if you still having that auric field in the past where doors are still flying open and shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's what people are really seeing. Okay, when they look at you, they're seeing that all those doors are still open. There's no shut doors. That's what the spirit is really seeing, basically. But loss is huge. Okay, that definitely will keep us here in the circle, in the cycle, psychotic, circular function, doing the same things over and over and over and over and over, having this feeling of loss when there is no loss. You had a grandmother, okay, that transitioned. Okay, say she transitioned, she didn't pass. She transitioned, she transformed, she moved on. As a matter of fact, she could still be right here. Hey, grandma. But they're not going to come around if you're not going to remember them, if you're not going to uplift them, but you forget about them, then yeah, then, their frequency is not going to come back around. But there is no loss, okay? The physical body, yes, nobody wants to be in the physical body forever anyway. Unless you live in Japan, where they live until they're like 90 and 120 with no aches or no pains. But anyway, so jumping, skipping timelines, removing the past, removing loss, removing past experiences with relationships. Okay, so we went lower level, mid level, and the top level. The top level of removing the past, right, is the number one most difficult, is what I think. But okay, it's feelings of trauma. Feelings of trauma is an emotional state of the past where you're not fully aware in the awakening state of the now. I hope that makes sense, y'all. Thank you for subscribing. Yeah, men are expected to be tough. And for a show, and it definitely depends on the culture and where you live, because jumping from a couple different states and being in Oregon right now, Oregon is a little bit different. They're socialized a little bit different, especially like in Portland. And I have to say the majority of them aren't expected to be tough. And I don't even see that at all. They are expected to be not tough. They're supposed to be more intelligent, and they are expected to be in tune with their emotions. That's what I see and observe from most of the men here. It's more intellect and emotions, and not so much tough like aggression. That stands out a lot. But that's a wholly different subject, because I can observe and think about that all day. Portland is definitely socialized a lot different from other places. I don't know. It's from what I see. So y'all listen, trauma gets stuck in the body, right? And it gets stuck in the body because individuals in the collective have a hard time with releasing trauma. And the most difficult thing with releasing trauma is getting it out of your system, talking about it, releasing it. Usually is talking about it, not crying about it, not suffering. Okay, it's talking about it, but talking about it with a solution. So the third most top level issues with people living in the past is feelings of trauma. Sorry, I keep looking down because I want to make sure that I stay on topic. It's feelings of trauma. I know many people, I'm just going to start my family, okay, who are way over 60, who still go back and reach from the past, the things that happened to them when they were 17 and when they're 18. They're still talking about it today in their 60s. In my old Baptist days, God for truth, I will never lie. But they are not the only ones. I see that a lot, and I observe that a lot about people, individuals. And I have to look at myself too. It's like, how am I carrying that, things on? And it's like, whoo, shit, solution, oh, shit, solution. Solution. Because once I start seeing people of a certain age who are still talking about things that happened to them when they were 16 and they're 17, and it is still traumatic, that's because they didn't have the ability to release it, and therefore they cannot jump timelines. They have not been able to build any form of self-improvement and self-development in many points in their life based on this traumatic episode that happened to them. Okay, now, yes, psychiatrists, psychologists, therapists, consultations are great for people, that's okay. Like group therapy, that's okay. But where are the solutions? The solution comes with healing trauma. You can talk all day, and I know this from observation, from years of people switching therapists. Okay, that ain't the right therapist. This ain't the right therapist, because all they're doing is just listening to you. All they want you to do is to build the skills to critically think for yourself, and they're waiting for you. Most of the time they will guide you there, but they're waiting for you, for your mind to click in, to be, to heal your own self. They're waiting for you to critically think on how to find the solution. They're not going to give you, because everybody is different. You can't just give a solution for, everybody. You, the individual, have the solution on how to release from the trauma. And a lot of that is coming from some kind of form of creativity, not just sitting on what occurred in the past. Okay, you don't even have to talk about it, you don't even have to write about it, but there's some kind of creative experience, energy that needs to be released. So you talk about it and you release it through a solution, through your creative endeavors, right? Thank you for subscribing. I like psychiatrists, psychologists, therapists, all those lovely people, right? You know what I'm saying? They are actually really good listeners. But I want to let you guys know that you cannot jump timelines. You can't skip timelines, right? If you're living in a traumatic episode experience in the past without a solution today, you have to have a solution in the now to get out of that circular frame. It's not a square, it's a circular. That's how you know you're going crazy. You know how cats be like, you know what I'm saying? I'll be like, how y'all doing that? Aren't you going crazy? Aren't you going dizzy? So to get out of the circular frame, from past so-called bad relationships, okay, from having forms of trauma, feelings of loss, all of these feelings, all these emotional ties are from the past. In order for us to break through, is to have a solution in the now, and not just saying it, but actually creatively building at the same time. All right, not just saying it, okay, having a solution and doing something creative to release that energy, because those energies turn into addiction. You can talk about it all day. If not, it can turn into some kind of disease as well. But you need to release it through some creative, through the great mother. I have to go there. You have to release it through the great mothers, not always through crying about being emotional and woo, but having some creative spin on releasing that trauma, talking about it, having a solution creatively. Oh my God, that's a big ass bird. Shit, that motherfucker big here. I'm gonna show y'all what I'm looking at over here. It was a big ass bird, like one of those crane mother effers that just went by here. Huge. And you know they go like 2 miles per hour. So when it flies, it's like pterodactyl. So I'm like, ah. Anyway, it was huge. What was I saying? Sorry. Yeah, I just think for real, it is more easier said than done. I just think if more people continuously will talk about release and talk about, their experiences, and with solution, not just be dropping off trauma. Motherfuckers like watching the news. Like, I'm gonna go watch the news and go get horrified because ain't no solutions. It's just constant trauma, triggers with no solutions. The solution automatically just counteract past influences automatically, because the solutions you're thinking about it now. What's going on right now? What can you do now? Woo, child. Man, woo, there's so much. Like, there's no scale of trauma, but there sure is a lot of women who have, I don't know, not one, but there's probably like every other woman who has trauma. Now there's men too, but they just don't talk about it. And I think that all adds on to the frequency of people just losing their voice by not talking about their experiences and then not releasing through solutions, but releasing through addictions and releasing through other mediums, you know what I'm saying? But mainly it's addictions. That's how society help us along, right? Because forget about the drugs that you have access to. Excuse me, I got to snort. My bad. Forget about, access to the drugs. What about all the Starbucks? Even if you don't got a Starbucks, all the 7-Elevens. Even if you don't got a 7-Eleven, all the plaid pantries. And if you ain't even got that, all the McDonald's, all the Burger King, all the Taco Bells are help aiding people's addictions from trauma. I don't think we're fully aware of that because we're not fully attached to our emotions by releasing with solutions. I don't know why the hell they keep saying something problem cause solutions. I don't know. I'm missing something, right? I don't know what it is. Trauma cause solution. What is it? Trauma cause solutions. Trauma cause solutions. Interesting. Whew. Trauma cause solutions. Whew. Well, we already knew that. Ooh, child. That's why there's so many people that don't make it. And that's why there's so much trauma. You would think, I don't want to, talk about that in negative spins, but I'm just thinking out loud a little bit here because, you guys probably really feel this too, maybe or maybe not, that it's like some kind of rites of passage for every person individual to have some kind of trauma. And that's not really how it's supposed to be, right? But I feel like it's a rite of passage that every person has to experience some kind of trauma. Because without the trauma, there won't be any solutions. But there's so much overload of trauma, but not many solutions. There needs to be more solutions, people having solutions with the trauma. Anyway, so that is basically what the video is about. All right, getting out of that circular mode. Okay, getting out of that circular motherfucking plane that where you are unable to jump timelines. Unable to jump timelines because you're going in this circular fashion over and over again, over and over again, over and over again, okay? Over and over again. With our relationships, right? With feelings of loss, okay? And with trauma. All of those could just be solidified into trauma ultimately. But we need to move forward from all of those experiences by living in the now and having a greater solution to those experiences, okay? Some things that you can try to say, basically, if something comes from your past and your childhood, you have to remind yourself, okay? Because those are trauma triggers that doors have not been quite closed yet. The portals are still open, right? Because you haven't closed them. You have to remind yourself that you are not there in that past. You are no longer in that past anymore. That is not you. The more often that you say that, then that's when your mind will finally catch up with the higher sources, right? So they'll quit finding triggers. You know what I'm saying? Quit finding triggers. The one thing I want to say this too, because this is more like geared to for women, whatever, okay, because we were kind of thinking about this earlier. I don't know why on the way here, okay, from observation and experience. For women, they will experience more of their trauma through picture forms, through visualization, through when their menstrual cycle is getting ready to come on, right? There's many ways that women know when their menstrual cycle is going to come on, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, right? So I'm talking about the emotional and the mental expectations of coming on your menstrual cycle, right? So your emotions kick in a lot more at that time, right? And then you'll get visualizations and pictures of the past, right? More often and more frequent when you are getting ready to begin your menstrual cycle, right? You be like, okay, I'm crying a little bit more on movies, and man, I'm having thoughts of like past people and family members that I haven't thought about in a long time, and like these memories are coming about. Like, what the hell? Those are one of the signs of getting ready to come on your menstrual cycle. But what I came to know is that your mind, your body, your spirit, your emotional state, it is so technologically advanced. It is always speaking to us, right? But are we paying attention to it? So the things that come about around that cycle are the doors that have not been closed, right? And it's more open when you're getting ready to begin your menstrual cycle. So you're getting these picture forms, these visualizations all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? About family members and shit from the past. And it's like, oh, they tapping into my emotions, but all that truly is that your body is signaling to you that there is some blockages, okay, from portals that have not been closed yet. So around the most significant time, the most spiritual, magical time, right, is when a woman's on her cycle, and it doesn't have, you can be of all, I mean, probably above 18. I ain't gonna say of all ages, okay, like 18 to like 85. I don't fucking know. I don't know, 18 and 85, and still have this very special experience that's really going on, this spiritual experiences that's really going on, right? My bad. My bad. My bad. Anyhow, I just wanted to say that that is another way around that very special time for women to know when there's some gateways, okay, where there's some portals being opened, by paying attention, by being in full awareness of what picture visualizations and what thoughts or memories that are coming through, that are, you know, communicating through your mental and through your emotional space relating to the past. That is a greater sign of a portal letting you know that that is some work that needs to be done in that area. Now, since I'm not a man, I don't know if they probably do some form or phase in the month where their reflections is a little bit more deeper, you know, and you may not, I don't know, have some picture forms as well of your body being so advanced, of some portals that needs to be closed, some blockages that needs to be released. But I know, for me, speaking as a woman, I know it is greater around menstrual cycle time, when I'm more paying attention, or is paying attention to me, of some blockages that are still there. And uniquely, it's from family, right? It's from family, like, oh, mm-hmm. Right. Okay. So, and by with me, with that experience, is mine's is sending positive energy to those family members. And I'm not talking about, you know, family members who, anybody who should be locked up or anything like that. I'm just talking about just like your basic standard regular relationships with people, right, that may have some friction at a point in time. So what I like to do is just send positive energy towards that instance, towards that person, and towards that instance. So therefore it won't be a trigger, and therefore I'm we are building solutions in the now with positive energy, okay? Because it's all going to go back and forth with communication, right? So when they have thoughts of me, it's not going to be some friction or negative low vibrational energy. It's going to be positive, because or mediocre. It's going to be positive or mediocre because I'm sending that airway to them in a positive way, because naturally we don't want to see people crash out. I don't care if it's like stranger or people that you really know. You don't want to see them crash out. We really want to see people do well. See, that's the whole thing. We want people to do well. Therefore, you send them positive energy and positive frequency. That is a point for self-development and self-improvement. Okay? Because why would you send friction to somebody unless they need to be locked up? I hope that all makes sense, y'all. Life isn't perfect. I know that's right. I have a blog about how we are not perfect and there is nothing perfect. Okay? Get your ass out there in that water. And if a tsunami comes, you're going to see how perfect that is. Yeah, it's warm outside. You're getting that heat from the sun, but it's perfectly in the right position, because don't let it come close, baby. It's going to perfectly burn your ass. For sure. So anyway, I'm going to get off here in a couple minutes, but I just want to really reiterate our portals as being our mind, our greater time machine. Although we cannot see it, that's the whole thing. We cannot see it, but we can visualize it. And by staying the most high vibrational energy, and with that is having solutions. Okay, I know a lot of times we get around and we want to gossip, we want to talk. I ain't talking about me, just saying collectively. But if there's no solutions, then you get yourself stuck in a circle of always finding things to talk and to gossip about as a release, as a form of avoidance. Because of that, if it's the other way around, you will watch things that have a greater payout outside of entertainment and gossip. You will find things that are help building yourself, just improving yourself. Okay. So solutions are the operations of the now. And since the ancestors were like, there's so much trauma right now because trauma caused solutions. I mean, maybe I'm interpreting that in the wrong form and directions, but yeah, because I can only form, if it wasn't for the trauma that I experienced, I wouldn't be having solutions to nothing, right? I'm going to have solutions to nothing. Everything will lead back to that trauma. Oh, I'm this way because of that. And believe me, I was there for a long time. Like, oh, I can't do this because of that. Oh man, you see that? That's why I can't move over here because of that. I told my dad back in the day that I wanted to do journalism. You know what I'm saying? He was like, ain't no black people in journalism. Well, and that's because of, in his field, in his day, ain't no black people in journalism. But I wasn't dumb. I wasn't stupid. I already knew. I was already born to be optimistic, because in my mind, right after he even said it, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, that's going to really stop me from like wanting to pursue journalism, because he said it wasn't no black people in journalism. But yeah, that is a good way to get out of a issue like that as well. Out of the circular format. Ain't no black people in journalism. Ain't no black people in journalism. Ain't no black people in journalism. Ain't no black people. You be the first one. And who cares? You still strive for that. Get out of the circular form of the habit of not experiencing the highest levels of yourself. Okay, because some people will perpetuate their own issues on you as well. Okay, that is another way for you to break free. Yes, thank you, for real. Constant reminder, a solution, having a solution, having a solution, having a solution. And each issue has its own greater or lesser solution, but each so-called challenge definitely have solutions, and it may take other people longer. Okay, that's why we're still here. Many other people are still here to build up people mentally, okay, subconsciously, to know that there are solutions out there, and no one needs to be in isolation. No one needs to be stuck in a circle that this is this kind of way, and that's why I started out with older people too, like are the biggest group of people who are stuck in the past because they so-called has so many experiences and they seen it all and they did it all and they ain't gonna work out this way and this way. Sometimes it may be right, but ultimately they're only saying that, right, because that's their portal and that is their time machine. So some older people, not all of them, but most of them are the most difficult to get unstuck because they are still in the past. Okay, they don't know that they can still create solutions now with their mind. Okay, so forget about those bum ass relationships, okay, that didn't work out. Send them best of luck, or those first meetings, oh well, send them best luck, okay. The feelings of loss, you lost a person, you lost your house, you lost your keys, you lost something. Nothing is really lost. I ain't gonna even lie though, like I don't know, it's kind of weird for me to say, but I used to love, before all these cameras came out, I used to love collecting pictures. I used to have big, thick photo albums of pictures from elementary school, junior high school, and high school. Like memories upon memories. Do you know? Because back in the day, like having photo albums, you used to take it to school and show off your friends, like your family and all this shit. And how many friends that were in your school that were in your photo albums, you knew that was your best friend. So I took my photo album to school one day and it got lost. Did you know that stuck with me for like 5 years? I was so mad. I think I lost all my pictures. But all those experiences are still there in my mind. Just the pictures are all gone, which is fine. Oh well, I'm not even that same person as I was then any goddamn way. So what's the difference? So that is like memories, pictures of memories was a greater loss. Okay, now I still have the majority of my family. I have experienced my best friends losing their children and all that, and there's no way I can actually step into their shoes to understand what a loss is to that point. All you can do is just be there for them, and and just vibrate that they are still there. Just remind them of the good times. Okay, that's how you know that they aren't lost. Remind them of the good times. Okay. Feelings of loss, relationships, and feelings of trauma. All of these are tied to your emotions that keep you bind to the past. Okay, that it's like this connectivity right now. You bringing up the past, you digging up the past, literally with your magician mind, and you having it in the forefront. That's why it's still current, and this is why self-development and self-improvement is at a stop, is at a blockage, because we are still living in the past from feelings of loss, feelings of trauma, and feelings that our relationships. Create solutions right now. There is no feelings of loss, y'all. None. 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 At any age, at any time, you can always jump timelines in your mind by staying uplifted. Okay? Now I know that we're all humans, but the majority of our life, we're going to stay uplifted, because the last thing anybody wants to do is die mad and miserable and in pain, like mad. Dying like that. I feel like that's going to carry on. That energy is going to carry on. Do you ever see somebody look like they're pleasant in their coffin? And actually, there are some people who are still twisted and mango. We want to transition. Woo, yeah, like those people, some of those people over there in Japan who are still cooking for themselves like 5-6 meals a day, and they in their 90s, and their life is so peaceful. Every day is peace for them in their 90s. Imagine if they transition in that way in peace. Oh my God, that energy influence, not mango and upset and diseased like some of us are over here. What is the life expectancy in Japan? I swear it's over 100. Most of those people are peaceful because of their environment and what they eat. But I always just look at how older they are and how they take care of themselves. And I always think, like, wow, if they were ready to transition at that moment, it would just be at peace. Okay. And this is what you can bring into your life right now: peace and contentment by having solutions. Don't be mangled in disease, y'all, by living in the past. Okay. Allergies. I don't know. People just don't be talking about my family. I get most of my observation from my family. Ooh, child, and gratitude for the observations, because I'm gonna let y'all go. They do. I just came across a couple of Japanese channel. It's so smoothing to watch some of their vlogs sometimes. Day in the life, of a 94-year-old. Now, granted, they're only going to show you so much, but ultimately, I feel like it is a sense of peace. You know what I'm saying? How a 90-year-old person is literally cooking for themselves like 5 times a day, going out and gardening, doing so many different activities all throughout the day. And I know some people who won't even roll their ass off the couch, off the bench, off the floor, off the bed, wherever they are, to be proactive. And I think they just been that way their whole life, proactive. Maybe that's why. Okay, there's my timer. That's my timer, y'all. Do we have to recap? Thank y'all for being here and listening to this greater purpose on how to jump timelines, because it is super essential. Okay, closing those portals in the path definitely is going to help you and those who are watching jump ship as well, staying positive and coming up with solutions right now. Okay, I'll see y'all later. I am actually going to go to the gym. And if nobody there, if there's like less than 5 people, I'll turn the camera on. But I'm at the gym. I got my hood on, my jogging suit on. Sometimes I'll have on glasses because I don't be having time. People be going to work out to be looking cute. I'm over it. I want to work out and that's it. I'm not going to be cute and all that. I already know that I was born. I've been cute for decades. Whatever. Nobody cares. Okay. Motherfuckers be going there and be cute, and they think that they want to like compete. That's why I be going in some, I'm like, I'm not competing. I already won with myself. I'm not competing. Oh my God. I already won with myself. Please get out of my fucking face. I'm like, get out of my friends. So sometimes I'll have on my glasses because, people are naturally out here in the wild, want to compete naturally. And it's like, I'm not competing. Oh my God. So the more uglier I am and the more clothes I have on, but I'm like, I'm not giving that aura of competing. It's just my body frame gives off competition. But that's not me. I know I be looking like a probation officer and shit most of the time. But I'm not at the gym to compete, so I'll be having my hood on, sometimes glasses on, work out. The majority know that I ain't gonna look at you for the most part. Like 100% of the time, I ain't gonna. So anyway, I'm gonna go to the gym, but I'm gonna definitely check y'all out soon. If not tonight, then definitely I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye! Talk to y'all soon. Have a good night. Peace.